Welcome to PsychWSigmund, the podcast, where we explore the fascinating world of psychology and uncover the secrets of the human mind. Today, we're going to delve into the concept of prospect theory, a fundamental idea in psychology that explains how we make decisions under uncertainty. Prospect theory is a psychological model that describes how people choose between different options when the outcome is uncertain. Developed by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky in 1979, this theory revolutionized our understanding of decision-making and has had a significant impact on fields such as economics, finance, and public policy. At its core, prospect theory suggests that people tend to be loss-averse, meaning they prefer to avoid losses rather than acquire gains. To understand prospect theory, let's first consider the concept of expected utility theory, which posits that people make rational decisions based on the potential outcomes of their choices. However, Kahneman and Tversky discovered that this theory doesn't always hold true in real-life situations. They found that people tend to be more motivated by the fear of loss than the promise of gain. This is known as the loss-aversion principle. One classic example of prospect theory in action is the Asian disease problem. Imagine you're a public health official, and you have to decide how to communicate the risks and benefits of a new vaccine to the public. You can either tell people that the vaccine has a 90% chance of saving lives, or that it has a 10% chance of not working. Which message do you think would be more effective? According to prospect theory, people are more likely to respond to the second message because it frames the outcome in terms of a potential loss rather than a gain. Another key concept in prospect theory is the idea of framing effects. This refers to the way in which information is presented, which can significantly influence our decisions. For instance, consider a study where people were asked if they would prefer a cup of coffee with 10% sugar or one with 90% non-sugar. Most people chose the latter option, even though the two are mathematically equivalent. This demonstrates how the way information is framed can affect our choices. Prospect theory also has implications for our emotional lives. Research has shown that emotions play a significant role in decision-making, often leading us to make irrational choices. For example, when we're in a state of anxiety or fear, we tend to be more risk-averse and focus on avoiding losses rather than acquiring gains. On the other hand, when we're feeling optimistic or hopeful, we may become more willing to take risks. In real-world applications, understanding prospect theory can help us make better decisions in our personal and professional lives. For instance, when considering a financial investment, it's essential to recognize the potential biases that might influence our choices. We should ask ourselves if we're being driven by loss aversion or if we're overestimating the potential gains. By acknowledging these biases, we can develop more effective strategies for managing risk and making informed decisions. Prospect theory has also been applied in therapeutic settings, such as cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT aims to help individuals identify and challenge distorted thinking patterns that contribute to their emotional distress. By recognizing how prospect theory influences our decision-making, therapists can work with clients to develop more balanced and rational approaches to problem-solving. In conclusion, prospect theory is a powerful framework for understanding human decision-making under uncertainty. By acknowledging the role of cognitive biases, emotions, and framing effects in our choices, we can develop more effective strategies for making decisions that align with our goals and values. As we navigate the complexities of life, it's essential to recognize the interplay between biological, psychological, and social factors that shape our behavior. As I always say, my colleagues in the field and I are continually amazed by the complexities of the human mind. Prospect theory is a testament to the power of psychological research in explaining the intricacies of human thought and behavior. So, the next time you're faced with a difficult decision, take a moment to reflect on the biases that might be influencing your choice. That's all for today's PsychWSigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.